Oh, there we go. Off to a great start. Welcome in. Emergency. I don't know if it's an emergency, but let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. NFL draft. I am late, but I was literally waiting for the first round of the draft to be done. And man, you guys are piling in here. Some of you have been waiting for hours. My bad. But man, I thought that was maybe not the most entertaining draft we've had, but it's been a good one. You know, at the tail end of it, I thought it really started to pick up. I don't know what you guys thought. Let me know. And of course, I'm drinking some bourbon. It's late as hell. It's 10:47 Central, 11:47 Eastern time. So I appreciate you guys jumping on here. Cousin Joshua says that shit took too long. I agree. No Luther Burden, no Shedeur Sanders. That's true, Cousin Kyle. I did wake up off the recliner. But let's recap it real quick, and then fire away with your thoughts. I'm not going to do all the non-SEC guys because who gives a damn. But the only one I will do, Cam Ward, of course, number one overall. What does that mean for Will Levis? I think it means Will Levis' ass is grass in Nashville. I don't think Will Levis is going to be sticking around. But how about Will Campbell? Did you see that? Number 4 overall pick to the Patriots. He was the first SEC selection, the outstanding left tackle. Highest LSU offensive lineman drafted in program history. This is 90 years for the highest drafted LSU offensive lineman ever. Will Campbell, number 4 overall. He was the first offensive lineman from LSU drafted since 1998. How about that? I didn't realize it was like that. And I love this. Right after he got drafted, Will Campbell was asked, how's he going to set the tone for the New England Patriots on the offensive line? He said, I will fight and I will die to protect quarterback Drake May. So I love to see that. Shout out Missouri right tackle Armand Membu. He went number 7 overall to the Jets, highest rated player from Missouri to get drafted in the NFL since Aldon Smith all the way back in 2009. That was pretty awesome. Shout out Power Mizzou. They shared this. I thought this was great. Membu was the number 6 overall player in the state of Missouri as a recruit. Number 6 in the state 3 years ago, just went 7th in the NFL draft. So hey, he's another one that Missouri doesn't get where they are today without guys like Armand Membu. But shout out all these guys that stay, probably getting offers left and right to leave their school. He stayed home. He got developed. He went number 7 in the NFL draft. I think that's outstanding. Same deal with the number 9 pick. Texans left tackle Kelvin Banks went number 9 to the Saints. A lot of discussion that the Saints might take a quarterback. They did not. They went with a left tackle. So I thought that was pretty cool. Banks only allowed 1 sack and 538 college snaps. It's pretty damn impressive. Then we had a run of Georgia players, as we knew we were going to get. Edge defender Mykel Williams went number 11 overall to the San Francisco 49ers. He was a former Southern Cal commit. Georgia fans may remember. 5-star was committed to Southern Cal for a minute. So he finally made his way to California. So congrats, Mykel Williams. Alabama offensive guard Tyler Booker went number 12 overall to the Cowboys. He only allowed 1 sack in 970 pass blocking plays in his college career. He's a hell of a player. Georgia defensive end, edge defender Jalen Walker went number 15 overall to the Falcons. First Georgia player to ever be drafted in the first round by the Atlanta Falcons, who are just down the road. And the first one, I think, in the first or second round since like the 60s. I mean, that's just insane. 1966. Is the last time the Falcons took a Georgia player in the first or second round. And I don't think they've literally never taken one in the first round till now. Jalen Walker goes 15 overall. Walter Nolan went number 16 overall to the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, Ole Miss defensive lineman, but A&M maybe gets a half credit for that. And his former teammate, Texas D&M, they certainly get credit for this. Shamar Stewart goes number 17 overall to the Bengals. And after he got drafted, he says, some people messed up. Just know I'm coming. He seemed pretty pissed off. Texas, they had a great run. Defensive back Janae Barron went number 20 overall to the Denver Broncos, followed by his teammate, Texas receiver. Matthew Golden went 23 overall to the Green Bay Packers. First receiver Green Bay has taken in the first round of the NFL draft since 2002. Matthew Golden, for reference, was born in 2003. So that makes me feel old as dirt. But that was pretty wild. How about Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart? He went 25 overall to the New York Giants. He's the future of the franchise there. Giants traded back up into the first round for Shedeur. No, Shedeur, get the hell out of her. Jackson Dart, first quarterback to be drafted out of Ole Miss in the first round since Eli Manning and Archie Manning. Those are the only three Ole Miss quarterbacks that have been drafted in the first round of the NFL. So Jackson Dart, he's in league history now. Tennessee edge defender James Pierce went 26 overall to the Falcons. They had to trade back up to get James Pierce. So they got Jalen Walker and James Pierce. That's a hell of a combo, if you ask me. Tennessee becomes the first school to have a first-round pick in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and WNBA in the same year. Shout out Austin Price Volquest. He shared that. I thought that was great. Georgia safety Malachi Starks went 27th overall to the Baltimore Ravens. How about this? Kirby Smart's 20 first-round picks just in his Georgia time. Hell, he's probably had that many at Alabama, too, when he was defensive coordinator. But 20 players he has got drafted in the first round, not overall, first 20 players now in the first round. Shout out Kirby Smart. Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston went number 30 overall to the Buffalo Bills. And then Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell went number 31 to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know them Eagles. They love SEC defenders, and they got another great one. So the SEC had 15 first-round draft picks. That ties the all-time record set by the SEC in 2020. So they couldn't break their own record, but tied it all-time. They led the way. SEC 15 first-round picks. Big Ten had 11. ACC had 2. Big 12 had 2. Mountain West had 1. And the FCS had 1 as well. So, I mean, it just further goes that, SEC is in a league of its own, but Big Ten is close. We got to give them credit. But there's really no one else competing right now for high-end talent. Pretty wild. I'm seeing a lot of comments about Luther Burden. Ooh, yeah, still on the board. I would think he'll be a high second-round pick, but not 100% sure. I mean, again, the book is kind of out on him. It seemed like a lot of NFL people were out on him. Go back and check the anonymous scout comments from our last episode, but I don't know. They're kind of out on old Luther. You know what? So I'm not. I think he's still a hell of a player. And sometimes when a player gets, I don't know if disrespect is the right word, but just kind of they get overlooked like this, sometimes it fuels them to do great things. I hope that's the case for old Luther Burden. Making me drink just thinking about it, though. Yeah, this is pretty stupid. I heard this. UT Rage. Shout out UT Rage. He said, Mel Kiper said Banks had a bad year. Only allowed 1 sack in 538 plays. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. Taylor, making fun of Sanders. Man, what did you guys have a fun draft? Did you eat any good food? I know I did. I know Shane did too. I think that's why he's not here. He's in a food coma right now. We may not see Shane again for a while, but more like Luther Bourbon. I'm Luther Bourbon tonight, no doubt. But shout out Shlin. He says he's rolling with the Modellas. Those are good. I appreciate that. So who we got tomorrow? Let's look that up real quick. I believe we got the Browns leading off the second round, and they need a quarterback. They need them a quarterback. Will they get Shore? I don't know. Man, NFL, you got to do better. I'm like having to dig here to find all this shit. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll get Browns, Texans, Titans. Browns got 2 of the first 4. If Shedeur doesn't go in the top 4, we'll never hear the end of it. Yeah, Liquid says Shane ran out of his EpiPens. That's true. Toby, what a comment. Feels good to be a Titans fan again with an actual quarterback. Are we sad for Will Levis? I know most of us aren't, but there's got to be someone out there that's pretty down. Patrick says Quinn Ewers would go before Shedeur. I mean, I'd love it. I think Quinn Ewers was a better college quarterback in my opinion. Mike, give us total SEC players drafted after all the rounds. It's a good question. So we're 15 down, 7 rounds. Give me. I'm gonna set the over under at 60. That's probably too low. I'm gonna set it at 60, 64 and a half. That's what I'm gonna say. Liquid said he didn't watch. Who did Jacksonville? Jacksonville got the guy that won the Heisman from Colorado, the dual threat guy. Yeah, Hunter. I don't even know their names. Win the Heisman. You don't play in the SEC. I don't really watch it. For real, Shane simply got arrested at the Cracker Barrel. It happens. It happens. This will be interesting. Toby says Steelers don't have a second rounder. Do they trade up for a quarterback? There was buzz. I mean, who in the hell knows, right? Because by all accounts, I don't trust anything these NFL media people say before the draft because a lot of it's smoke screens, a lot of it's distractions. But allegedly, the top quarterback on the Steelers board is Jalen Milroe. So the Steelers, let's look up when their next pick is here. But surely, if they don't have a second rounder, I don't know that they're going to be able to get him. Their next pick is in the 3rd round, pick 19. So the 83rd overall pick. Jalen Milroe is probably going to fall a little bit, but he's not going to fall certainly that much. So if the Steelers really want him, they're going to have to trade back up for him. UT Rage says Steelers going to get Milroe or Ewers in round 3. Maybe. How bad is it, though, that Jalen Milroe went to the draft? I mean, that was just weird, wasn't it? At least Shedeur Sanders was smart enough to know he could fall. And you remember last year, it's not like every year, every draft is unique, but last year there was such a run on quarterbacks. These guys are smart. They're scouting years ahead, right? So I think looking back now that we've had the first round this year and the first round last year, they looked ahead and said, there's not any quarterbacks worth taking, really. Now, I think Cam Ward could be good, but even he's a gamble. There's no surefire first rounder, right? Jackson Dart could be fantastic. I don't think that's a given by any means. I don't think I ever watched him in the SEC and said, man, he is far and away the best quarterback in the SEC. And I was thinking he could be that at the start of the year. I thought he'd be, I think I had him in my quarterback rankings number 2. I thought he could be that. Not saying he was bad, but I don't think I ever watched him and was like, damn, he's a complete game wrecker. He changes everything for Ole Miss. Yet he just went in the first round. So I may be completely off base there. But with only 2 quarterbacks going and one of them going, later in the first round, I think certainly all the buzz about these teams not liking the quarterbacks, I think that has been validated there. Yeah, I mean, Tim says he's sold. I think he meant solid, but yeah, that's how I would explain Dart. I mean, I think he's solid as hell, but is he going to be like a? If he's not a star player in the SEC, is he going to be like a star franchise for the NFL? I mean, I'm not saying he can't be, but that seems a little bit unlikely to me. I like this comment from old Brodo. Surprised Arch Manning wasn't the first overall pick, eligible or not. Yeah, seriously. Joshua says Shedeur is a prime, pun intended, example of media running up a psyop. Everybody is backfiring on him. How about, did you see it? And anyone see this? I want to give this guy a shout out because I think he's great. Never actually met this guy, but he does a hell of a job. Brett McMurphy, weird stat of the night. Shedeur Sanders, first player in college football history to have his number retired and not be selected 5 days later in the NFL draft. Ooh, yeah, he says first round of the draft, but which is still accurate. But man, how are you going to have your jersey retired? You're not even a first rounder. That's a little concerning. Cousin Kyle, he says Arch's going to be the first pick in the 2026 draft, and he's an Aggie. So I don't know if he's trying to curse old Arch, but rumor has it Arch is going to stick around for 2 years at Texas. Now, that could change if he wins a Heisman, Texas wins a national championship. He may look at it and say, hey, he's a lock to be number 1 overall. He's got to go, right? I mean, I could see that happening. But rumor has it he's gonna stay there for 2 years. So, Cousin Tony, will Brady Cook get drafted? I think there's a shot. Late rounds. But we've even starting to see that you can be a successful NFL quarterback in the late rounds. So I'm not writing him off by any, like if he's a 6th rounder or something like that, 5th, 6th, maybe 7th rounder. I do think Brady he'll get drafted. Cousin Patrick's Palvia going number 1 next year. Maybe in the UFL, whatever the hell that's called. I think he could go number 1 in that, but not NFL. Not NFL. Cousin Josh says Aggies hope Arch goes for the 2026 draft. They know they'll lose. That's not nice. That's not nice, is it? That's a funny comment, though. Cousin Thomas says Sanders family should have just retired instead of retiring Shedeur's numbers. Oh, my God. Oh, man. The trolling has begun. That's probably the story of the night, isn't it? The guy that didn't get drafted. Well, at least if you ask Mel Kiper, that's the story. Mel Kiper bringing up Shedeur, I think, every pick after number 6 to number 32. And apparently, while the Titans were on the clock, we all knew they were going to take Cam Ward, right? Apparently, all they were showing on ESPN was Shedeur highlights. I didn't see it. I was watching NFL Network. I think they do a better broadcast, except for when they try to announce. How about that schedule announcement? Anyone see that where they brought out the 2 ladies to announce the date of when they're going to announce the schedules? I mean, it was the worst thing of the whole damn draft. It was awful. Chuck Norris is becoming orange. Oh, that's good. That's good. Cousin Thomas wants to know, is Shay's number of biscuits with blackberry jam at Cracker Barrel retired on the wall? Oh, I think he's getting there. I mean, that man could hit double digits in a hurry. Easily. Seth says, I didn't watch the draft. What happened? Rewind this thing, because I ran through all the SEC picks. Zach says, do you guys like watching the McAfee draft? I turned it on. I like Pat McAfee, but his show is like, maybe it's like this one. To me, it's like an insane asylum. Like it's nonstop. There's all kinds of, it's like too much. Maybe I have ADD or something like that. I don't know. It's just like too much for me to watch, especially when they're on a live location and there's people yelling and there's people trying to talk. I mean, I can't decipher any of it, but I am a fan of his. I'm not saying I dislike him. How we living? We're living good over here, man. Yeah. Mike and Shane should draft SEC players and see who would have the better player after a year. We've done that before. I think we'll do it again. I appreciate you, Cousin Kyle. Thomas says Mel Kiper wanted Aaron Rodgers and Shedeur every damn pick. Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous, wasn't it? Who gets signed first, Shedeur or Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's a race now. And probably neither one of the Steelers. Amy says, y'all forget Jackson led the SEC in passing yards. I think I'm right. The fact that you are so confident in that statistic, and then you said, I don't even know if I'm right. That's pretty outstanding. Who will be the next SEC receiver drafted? Excellent question. Let's go to the receivers. I mean, I got to lean Luther Burden, right? But may not be. How bad is that going to hurt him? Isaiah Bond, Trey Harris is out there. I like Luther better than those guys, but I would watch Isaiah Bond. I think he might go before old Luther, but my money's on Luther. Excellent question, though. Liquid says Arch will be the next drafted receiver. I don't know. I don't know if I buy this. Cousin Josh says supposedly NFL teams front office said Shedeur wasn't that great. Teams don't want to fool with the Deion drama. I get that because we all get tired of it, right? But Deion is going to have no say, literally no say in NFL teams and what they're doing. I mean, Deion can call whoever the hell he wants. They're not going to listen to him. I mean, this is a different level. Now, I think it's fair to ask, how will Shedeur handle not being coached by his dad? Because I could be wrong, but I think his dad even coached him in high school. I don't know that he's literally ever had a coach other than his father. And I'm not saying he can't be coached by anyone else, but even that's going to be an adjustment for him. So that to me is a little wild. I mean, it's very, very weird. But obviously they've had a ton of success. So who am I to knock it? Uh-oh. Watching Shannon Sharpe live coverage has been super awkward. He is choking. Anyone see this? Let's shout out old Shannon, because he did a hell of a job here, I thought. When you type in his name, it's like leak. I don't want the leak. I'm looking for the statement he put out. I don't know if anyone saw that. This was classic old Shannon Sharpe here. Here we go. Share my screen real quick. So let's see if you can see this. Yeah. So I got to take away this little thing on the bottom, otherwise it won't make any sense. But so this is something Shannon Sharpe tweeted out. It's not that interesting what it's actually saying, but it's just a statement. He's saying he's stepping away from his ESPN. He's going to devoting time to his family, yada, yada, yada. I sincerely appreciate overwhelming support, Shannon Sharpe. But here's the thing. If anybody has an iPhone, they know this is something that someone sent to him. It's very clear by the way this is formatted and how even it looks. This is not something he typed. This is something someone sent to him, his management, his agent, or whatever. He's supposed to copy this and then paste the text. He screenshot. He didn't write any of this, is the point being. And I mean, it just, again, does that make him a bad guy? No, but it does make him a lazy guy. And it's very transparent that he didn't write any of that, so poor PR bastard. Whoops. So I just thought that was hilarious. Patrick says 0% chance he comes back to ESPN. Shannon Sharpe says he's coming back for NFL season. We'll see. We'll see about that. Anything else? I mean, I'm winding down here. It's 11 o'clock. It's past my bedtime, and this bourbon's starting to hit me. So something good could come out. I think it's about time. We're just on the edge, I think, of an updated SEC power rankings, kind of debating a couple teams. So we're going to do a live show of that at some point. We're sitting on a couple interviews that we're about to publish, so that's going to come out. We got quite a bit of content coming out. We're trying to do it unlike anybody else out there in the SEC podcasting world. So stay tuned for that. Patrick, appreciate this question. When does the portal close tomorrow exactly? It closes at midnight on Friday. So if a player's not in there by midnight tomorrow, so technically Saturday, is the official date, the 26th. As soon as the clock strikes midnight on Friday night, Saturday morning, that's the end of the portal, unless you're a graduate transfer. And again, it's so late in the calendar. It's graduate transfers. I don't think we're going to see a ton of that. I really don't. Liquid says, who's your NFL team? I like Green Bay, but since I really started this show and I can't even really watch NFL on Sunday because I'm just so busy with this. I like NFL, nothing against it, but do I want to watch Green Bay for 2-3 hours a day, or do I want to work? I work. So when college football is over, I watch NFL the last couple of weeks, but I kind of have lost a lot of touch with it. Cousin Kyle, Mike, what SEC player are you most disappointed did not get drafted tonight? That's an excellent question. Let me see I want to look at a list real quick to see who is like the top available players. I mean, Luther Burden certainly is up there. But I'll be honest with you, I kind of expected it after all this negativity was being shouted out against him, So that didn't surprise me a ton. Nick Amawari, that was a little bit of a surprise. I thought he would certainly go in the first round. I would probably throw him into that conversation. Those are the two that come to mind for me. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I'm racking my brain here. Who do you think had the best and the worst pick today? I thought the best was Atlanta. I loved what Atlanta did, getting Jalen Walker and James Pierce from Tennessee, some elite pass rushers. I know they had to trade up to get Pierce. They gave up a lot. I don't care about giving up picks. I care about getting good players. And I think Atlanta got two potentially elite defensive players. I'm not even an Atlanta fan, but all I heard for years and years, take a Georgia player. And we have no pass rush. Now I think they got potentially the two best pass rushers in Jalen Walker, maybe not exclusively a pass rusher, but two elite defenders, one elite pass rusher. I love what Atlanta did. Worst pick? I'm going down the list here. Worst pick? The one that kind of strikes me, I hope I'm wrong. I would say Shedeur Sanders at 17, who he just was not very productive in college. I mean, he looks like $1 million, crushed the combine, but I don't know. If you can't be productive in the SEC, how are you going to be productive in the NFL? I don't know. That is a true question, I think, that lingers over him. So I would have probably held out per second round for him. I really would. Benny says Luther was nothing but a team player. If any team that drafts those trash receivers over him. Yeah, I think Luther Burden could. Yeah, he's going to make a lot of people look stupid. I really do think. Because he could just do so many things. And I think his game is very well suited for the NFL. I think you got it backwards, Patrick. Walker was at Georgia. Pierce was at Tennessee. He's going to have to teach him how to drive. Worst pick was Mel Kiper's picks, according to Cousin Thomas. All right. Anything else? I think Tony's calling it. I think I'm about to call it. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Anything else? Again, we'll probably try to do this again tomorrow because we got round 2, round 3. We'll see if I can lasso Cousin Shane to get on here. What time's the NFL draft tomorrow? I probably should become much more prepared for this stuff, but they make it so hard to find all this stuff online. I mean, even the first round, I was struggling to find it, but I think it's a little bit earlier tomorrow. Yeah, well, no, not really. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central tomorrow, but there is 2 rounds, but they go a little bit quicker. So, yeah, I'll try to get. I didn't see your donation here. I'll try to get Cousin Shane to hop on tomorrow. No guarantees. That bastard, when I tell him he's got a couple days off, he does not communicate. He's like a bear hibernating, So I can't make any promises that Shane will be on here, but I'll try to get him on here. How quick are the picks tomorrow? I think the second round is 10 minutes a pick, and then the third round I think is like 7 minutes a pick. They may have changed those. They change it all the time. Cousin Kyle, appreciate you. Mike, these are my favorite. The family's in bed, I can watch live. And he didn't write this part, but we don't have to hold our swears with the families in bed. So I do like that. Thomas says, yeah, Shane, live from the Cracker Barrel, and that bastard is on early. You know what? So just because you said that, I want to play the Cracker Barrel.
This episode of That SEC Podcast is brought to you in part by The Cracker Barrel. This episode of That SEC Podcast is brought to you in part by The Cracker Barrel. From The Cracker Barrel, here's Cousin Shane.
Those are just too good. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to hop off here. I'm getting delusional over here. So, again, I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be on live after the second and third rounds, kind of recap those as well. But that's all we got on this episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.